इतने गुस्से में क्यों दिख रही है आज? कीप योर स्माइल.
हाँ मैम, स्माइल नहीं कर रहे हैं.
Please start. Pragya?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning and a very warm and hearty welcome to all the participants present at this virtual platform. Today, 7th April, is the second day of the 7-day Personality Development Certificate course organized by Center for Literary Interaction and Creativity in collaboration with MANOHARRAO KAMDI Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, VASANTRAO NAIK Government Institute of Arts and Social Sciences, Nagpur, RAJKUMAR KEWALRAMANI Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, and Anjuman Girls Degree College of Arts, Nagpur. I, Dr. Pragyasa Upadhyay, from late Rajen Singh, Baba Vyas Arts and Commerce College, Kundali, on behalf of the organizing colleges, welcome all the principals of the organizing colleges, Dr. Pranoti Chakraborty, President CLIC, Dr. Urmila Rabir Ma'am, Rajkumar KEWALRAMANI Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, Dr. Usha Sakure Ma'am, Principal MANOHARRAO KAMDI Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, and Dr. Sujata Vyas Ma'am, Principal VNGISS, Dr. Nahid Suri Ma'am, Principal Anjuman Girls Degree College, Nagpur. It's my proud privilege to welcome the resource person of today's lecture, Dr. Meenakshi Vasnik Ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. I also deem it a pleasure to welcome the event coordinator, Dr. Madhvi Moral Ma'am, Dr. Meenakshi Vasnik Ma'am, Dr. Kapil Singhal sir. Let me again note it here that Meenakshi ma'am is the coordinator also. So Dr. Kapil Singhal sir and Dr. Deepti Thakre ma'am also. I extend a hearty welcome to all the participants attending the program. Let me take this opportunity to introduce today's guest, who will be speaking on adaptability skills. The resource person, Dr. Meenakshi Vasnik ma'am. She is an assistant professor, Department of English, MANOHARRAO KAMDI Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. Her motto of life is learning isn't just an interest, but an abiding passion. She is a coordinator of IQAC and is associated with various committees of her college. Her area of interest is diaspora literature. And let me tell you, friends, at ISPEL, East Maharashtra Forum, we had a wonderful experience listening to Meenakshi ma'am giving a wonderful lecture at diaspora literature, role of women in diaspora literature. She has 13 years of teaching experience and she has several research papers published in national and international journals of repute during this short span of time. She has published 10 poems in various volumes. She has also contributed 3 chapters in books of reputed publications. And she is also an executive member of Shakespearean Society and Creative Literary Interactive Center and member of Association for English Literary Studies and member of ISPEL Vidarbha. She has been invited as guest lecturers at various colleges. Madam has coordinated personality development and career placement certificate courses in her college. And this is among one of those. And she has been a coordinator of online lecture series on compulsory English collaborated under RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur, and also has a special interest in teaching students of underprivileged students, I would say, and help them in a right track of their career vision. With this wonderful vision in mind, she is moving forward and the same vision being completed over here, where she will be speaking on adaptability skills. I hand over the podium here, this platform, to Meenakshi ma'am. And ma'am, I look forward for a wonderful one more wonderful lecture from you. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you very much, madam, for your graceful words of introduction. At the very outset, I would like to congratulate all the principals of the 5 cluster team of institution CLIC, that is a Center for Literary and Creativity, MANOHARRAO Vidyalaya, Nagpur, VASANTRAO NAIK Government Institute of and Social Sciences, and RAJKUMAR KEWALRAMANI KANYA MAHAVIDYALAYA, Nagpur, organizing such a phenomenal 7 days certificate course on personality development program, which is very important for the students for their overall grooming along with the education. I'm also thankful to the coordinator of this program for bringing up this kind of personalized program for students. The topic which is assigned to me today is on adaptability skills. So I would try to deliver my presentation in both the language so as to make it visible for the students to understand. Dear participants, you may be thinking, I would like, before starting with my presentation, let me allow to share the screen. I give this opportunity to Sachin Chapke sir to share my screen, please. Yes. Yes. Is it visible, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So, dear students, you may be thinking that in personality development, how the adaptability skill is useful for us. Like food, clothes, and shelter is the basic necessity of life. In the same way, adaptability skills is also a basic necessary and necessity to change your personality. Indeed, change itself means adaptability. In various personality development programs, we learn different kind of skills like communication skills, interview skills, and various skills. In the same way, adaptability skill is also a part of personality development program, which is the need of the hour. We all know that in these 2 years, we have adapted with various habits of our lifestyles. Like we had adapted with the online shopping, we have adapted ourselves with online classes, wearing masks, sanitizing ourselves. Thus, we find that adaptability is the accepting of a change in the situation. In today's presentation, we would learn how we should adapt the things to enhance the adaptability skills, which are very essential for the development of our personality. अनुकूलन क्षमता यानी adaptability skills. अनहोनी को होनी में बदलना ताकि आप इस गंभीर परिस्थिति का सामना आसानी से कर सके. हमारा मन और दिमाग हर समस्या से गुजरते हुए भी अपनी क्षमता को अनुकूल हम रख सके, ऐसी क्षमता को हम अनुकूलन क्षमता कहते हैं. जैसे बंजर जमीन में फूल का खिलना, यह भी एक अनुकूलन क्षमता का प्रतीक है. एक प्रतिकूल परिस्थिति यानी विकट परिस्थिति में भी अपना अस्तित्व बनाए रखना, उसे हम अनुकूलन क्षमता कहते हैं. अनुकूलन क्षमता का एक ज्वलंत उदाहरण हमें रिचर्ड ब्रासन नामक विख्यात विद्वान के विचार से हमें पता चलता है. वे कहते हैं, एवरी सक्सेस स्टोरी, सर फर्स्ट स्लाइड एक्चुअली, एवरी सक्सेस स्टोरी इज अ टेल ऑफ कांस्टेंट एडेप्टेशन, रिविजन एंड चेंज. उनका कहना है कि हर सफलता की कहानी एक सतत अनुकूलन परिस्थिति में रहते हुए पुनर्अध्ययन से और बदलाव से ही हो सकता है. इसीलिए हमें अनुकूलन क्षमता का प्रभुत्व पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट के तहत जानना और उसका अनुसरण करना बहुत जरूरी होता है. सेकंड स्लाइड सर. इस रेलवे पटरी को देखकर आप आकलन लगा सकते हैं कि रास्ते चाहे कितने बड़े कितने भी आड़े और या टेढ़े हो, लेकिन मंजिल मिलना तो तय है. हमारा डेस्टिनेशन हमें मिलना तय है, हमारा स्टेशन आएगा. और यह केवल बदलाव से ही संभव है. प्रतिकूल परिस्थिति या जिसे हम विकट परिस्थिति कहते हैं, उसमें से मार्ग निकालो हम अनुकूलन क्षमता का एक उदाहरण ले सकते हैं। आज कोरोना के हो चुकी है, हम हमारी में कई बदलाव देखे। इन सभी बदलाव को हमने निराशा से तो कभी आशावादी होकर इसे हमने स्वीकारा है। बदलाव चाहे जितने भी आए हो, लेकिन हमने जीना नहीं छोड़ा। हमने उम्मीद नहीं छोड़ी और इस बीमारी से उभर कर बाहर निकल आए, और यह हमारे अनुकूलवादी गुण और अनुकूलवादी क्षमता से ही संभव हो पाया है। So that is why adaptability skill is very much important in our life. Third slide, sir. Now, let us see how the adaptability skill is motivated through nature. प्रकृति से भी हम अनुकूलन क्षमता का पाठ पढ़ सकते हैं। For this, I would like to mention a very perfect idea of Charles Darwin theory of existence, that is survival of fittest, survival of existence. His ideology for adaptability says that it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent. It is one that is most adaptable to change. जीवन जगने के लिए सबसे ताकतवर प्राणी या फिर सबसे होनहार प्राणी की जरूरत नहीं है। ताकतवर होने के लिए हमें जीवन जगने के लिए हमें ताकतवर या फिर होनहार होना उतना जरूरी नहीं है। जीवन जगने के लिए बदलाव को स्वीकारना और उस बदलाव को स्वीकारने की जो क्षमता जिसमें हो, वो ही जीवन जगने में यशपूर्वक रहता है। So a man who can accept the change in any of the circumstances, then only he can survive, then only he can sustain in the life. उदाहरण के तहत हम इस चैमेलियन, जिसे हम गिरगिट कहते हैं, जो अपना शिकार को पकड़ने के लिए खुद का रंग बदल देता है। अगर वो पत्तियों में छुपा हो तो अपना शरीर पत्तियों के रंग में अपना समावेश वह कर देता है, ताकि वह शिकार को पता न चले कि वह शिकार कर रहा है, और इस गिरगिट का लक्ष्य शिकार प्राप्त करना वह संभव हो जाता है। सो वी कैन लर्न फ्रॉम नेचर हाउ वी कैन अडैप्ट आवरसेल्व्स इन आवर लाइफ। Thus we see that the personality is subject to change in the situation. What does adaptability mean? It means the quality of being able to adjust in new conditions. Adaptability is an advantage in the harshly competitive global economy. As we see that adaptability is an advantage subject of benefit or profit, then I feel that every person is always in the seek of benefit. Therefore, for the advantage of any part of the life, change is always needed. So, adaptability is always needed in every sector of our life. May it be personal, may it be professional, anything. Yes. Let us try to understand adaptability even more elaborately. Being adaptable does not mean going with the flow and letting the current carry you along. Adaptability का मतलब यह नहीं जिस दिशा से जीवन का प्रभाव हो रहा है उसी दिशा में बह जाना, इसे हम एडेप्टेबिलिटी या अनुकूलन क्षमता नहीं कह सकते हैं। लेकिन अनुकूलन क्षमता का मतलब यह नहीं कि जो बदलाव आ रहे हैं उसे आंख बंद करके स्वीकारें। जो बदलाव हितकारी हो हमारे लिए, समाज के लिए और सबसे ज्यादा प्रकृति के लिए, उस बदलाव को ही हमने स्वीकारना चाहिए। It means we should adapt such things which are beneficial to the nature, which are beneficial to us, and which is not harmful to the nature. So such kind of change we need to accept. Then only the mission of adaptation is fulfilled. फिर अनुकूलन क्षमता के बारे में बड़ी तरीके से हमने समझना है तो हम एक ग्रेट आइडियोलॉजिस्ट आंद्रे मार्टिन एक बहुत प्रसिद्ध विचारवंत इनके अनुकूलन क्षमता की व्याख्या का आकलन हमें करना होगा. उनके अनुसार अनुकूलन क्षमता के 3 विशेष घटक है. There are 3 major elements of adaptability. He says adjusting your thoughts and thinking in response to change. यानी अपने विचार या अपने विचार प्रणाली को समायोजित करना, इसी को हम adaptability skills कहते हैं. That means whatever thoughts it's coming in you to think that how I should respond to the situation. So that thought, it should be adjusted according to not your convenience, but according to what you can say, the favorable things which are surrounded you. So that is why if you need any change from inside you, first you need to think that if a change if I do from my side, whether it is harmful to anyone, whether it is not destroying the nature, then only such change we need to adapt. Managing positive and negative emotional responses to change. यानी बदलाव जो सकारात्मक हो या नकारात्मक हो, उसे आप किस तरह से अपनी प्रतिक्रिया को प्रबंधन करते हैं. How you arrange the negative responses and the positive responses. जैसे उदाहरण, कोई अचानक विकट परिस्थिति आई हो और आप बिना विचार किए अपनी प्रतिक्रिया प्रकट करते हो, तो ये घातक हो सकता है. That means accepting the change without thinking anything and without preparing the mindset of yours, such change is not acceptable. Before accepting any of the change, first you need to think over it. You should go back to the nature. You should think about from the historical perspective. Then you should accept the change. कहने का तात्पर्य कि आप कोई भी बदलाव को स्वीकारने के पहले उसका चिंतन करें, उसके ऐतिहासिक पहलुओं को जाने और वो हमारे लिए कितना हितकारी हो उसे जाने. फिर उसके बाद अपनी प्रतिक्रिया का बराबर प्रबंधन करें. इसे ही सर्वाइवल ऑफ फिटेस्ट कहते हैं. Altering your behavior in response to change. In this fast-paced, tech-driven life, many of us feel overwhelmed, even at the best of times. But in the odd situations, like the global pandemic, massive economic disruptions, social unrest, or looming threat of climatic change, will definitely make us sleepless. हमें अपने बर्ताव या अपने स्वभाव को भी बदलना पड़ता है. जैसे हमने कोरोना महामारी जैसे परिस्थिति में भी अपने स्वभाव को बदल दिया है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड सर. या embrace learning. Here learning means not particularly the learning for examination point of view. Here learning not from the examination or academic point of view. Here learning means learning the life skills. Why do we need to possess adaptability skills? Why you want to get adapted to the situation you come across in the life? Is adaptation a solution to live a better and successful way of life? What we find nowadays is that the major problems of parents is that they take the child's upbringing in a very sensitive way. Most of the parents are seen securing the kids' life irrespective to money. They wish to admit the child in high-profile schools, and they could get adapted to good, so that they could get adapted to the good standard, with the good standard children with a good atmosphere. So how much it is worth to say that adaptation of the child in good standard school will really affect his bright future? ऐसा होता तो downtrodden persons, how they come up and how they have become the stalwart. Example, there are many like Mahatma Phule, Dr. Ambedkar, who had come from a very unfavorable circumstances of their life, but still they have adapted all the situations and they have come up. So we need to ask ourselves whether adapting ourselves in a good standard school really makes the person, what you can say, his future bright. So we need to think over it. If it is so, then how come Robert Browning, he became the physician, being a weak child in the class? What are the changes in his life or what adaptation in his life has made him so successful physician despite being a weak student? This is a very important ambiguity that we need to understand so that we can get a motivation from this kind of adaptations done by the big scholars, and thinking in such a way will also affect or change in our personality. If you want to be successful at say your workplace or any of your surrounding, you have to challenge yourself and learn current skills and knowledge to enhance your personality. And this is possible only by embracing a culture of learning from every sectors of life. You can acquire, apply, and share new skills and knowledge, allowing you to perform better things in your life. It also gives you a competitive edge over your challenges. Next slide, sir. Next slide, please. Relation between flexibility and adaptability. Now we see that adaptability means change. Change is possible only when things are flexible. So, do we find that there is a line of demarcation between these two aspects, flexibility and adaptability? So, let us find whether flexibility and adaptability are same or whether it differs. So many people use adaptability and flexibility interchangeably, but there is a slight difference between the two. So let's talk about them. Flexibility and adaptability are two peas of the same pod. They go hand in hand. You cannot be adaptable if you are not flexible. Flexibility is a willingness to take the change and positively respond to the changing trends. At the same time, flexibility is the willingness to change your thoughts, your patterns, thinking patterns, your behaviors, your perception to meet others halfway procedurally. Thus, to be more adaptable, you have to become flexible. So फ्लेक्सिबल लवचिकता और अनुकूलता, ये दोनों एक दूसरे के सिक्के के दो पहलू है, क्योंकि हमें अनुकूलन क्षमता प्राप्त करना हो या फिर हमें हमारे स्वभाव में अनुकूलता लाना हो तो हमें लवचिक होना ही पड़ेगा, और यह लवचिक जब हम होंगे तभी ही बदलाव संभव है। तो बदलाव संभव होने के लिए हमें लवचिकता, हमारे विचार में लवचिकता, हमारे बर्ताव में लवचिकता होना चाहिए, और इसे ही हम एक अनुकूल वातावरण बना सकते हैं हमारे इर्द गिर्द। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड सर, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। या डेवलप अ ग्रोथ माइंडसेट। Robert Einstein says that a man in his complete life has used 7% of his brain. This we all know. Again, to bring more ideas and examples in relation to how the growth of mindset affects the adaptability, we should motivate ourselves from the small things. Let us take an example of a small pencil. The more and more the pencil is sharpened, the more and more it runs very fastly and very swiftly. Similarly, the more we use our brain thinking process, the more our mind gets. This is the reason why learning process is always needed to be embraced. So, in a core period of pandemic, we did not give up learning. It continued, whether it may be in online mode or anything. But we have continued and sustained ourselves in the process of lifelong learning system. After years of research and analyzing the staff of 7 Fortune, that is a very famous magazine, 1,000 companies, the world-renowned Stanford psychologist, he discovered the power of mindset. In her book, she talks about how we can grow our talents and abilities by harnessing the power of growth mentality. Scientists has always proved that more you use your brain, the more it gets stimulated and nourished. Knowledge is always required. Knowledge is always updated, and knowledge should always be shared, which is very seldom done by the people. So, knowledge, if you share more, the knowledge will grow more. Next slide, sir. Next slide, please. Adaptation, the only way to stay united. हम एक है. We say that we are one. How it is this concept that we are united? It is only and only possible when the mindset of all the people try to make a practice of adapting each and every one in a positive and in a favorable way. When you say in a group of union or any dealing with when you deal with some group, what you first need to think is, does we need to be flexible or rigid? The answer depends on various psychological and social factors. हमारे इर्द गिर्द ऐसे लोग भी दिखते हैं जो बहुत कट्टरवादी होते हैं और कोई लौचिक होते हैं. जो लौचिक होता है वो कहीं ना कहीं अपने मार्ग से उसे अपना मार्ग और मिल ही जाता है. He gets the destination. But when a person is rigid, he finds it very hard to adjust in the situations. He finds very much hard to overcome the situations also. So that is why our behavior, it should be in such a way that we should adapt. But whatever we adapt, it should always be favorable to the society. It should always be favorable to the nature. If we find the psychological factors, sometimes we find it good that rigidness is good, but sometimes it is not good. कभी कभी रिजिड रहना भी जरूरी है. जैसे एग्जाम्पल, माँ अपने बच्चों को जब पालती है, उनका पोषण करती है, तो कभी कभी वो स्ट्रिक्ट रहती है, तो स्ट्रिक्ट रहना भी होता है. बट कभी कभी वी नीड टू बी फ्लेक्सिबल. सो इसका एक उदाहरण, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई वुड लाइक टू कोट एन एग्जाम्पल फ्रॉम अ मूवी कॉल्ड 3 Idiots. इट इज अ स्टोरी अबाउट 3 friends. हम रिजिडिटी के बारे में देखेंगे कि रिजिडिटी होना जरूरी है या नहीं, यानी कट्टरवादी होना जरूरी है या नहीं. इसका उदाहरण हम एक 3 Idiots मूवी से देखेंगे, जिसमें 3 दोस्त मित्र होते हैं, एंड एक जो किरदार है जिसका नाम है शर्मन. हिज रोल इज वेरी एप्ट एंड इट इज वेरी आइडियल to motivate us to understand why we should impart adaptation of our attitude in a rigid way or in a flexible way. The character, in the movie, he faces an interview board. In his interview, he is much headstrong about his attitude. He don't want his attitude to be changed. वह अपने attitude को change नहीं करना चाहता है. इंटरव्यू बोर्ड से पूछते हैं कि हम आपको बहुत सारा इंसेंटिव्स और बहुत सारे आपके पर्क्स देंगे, वी विल हाइक योर सैलरी. ओनली द थिंग इज दैट you should change your attitude. Whatever we say, you should listen to us. He's actually, that character is in fact rigid. He gives his rigid attitude to most प्रायोरिटी. उसके टॉप मोस्ट प्रायोरिटी में नॉट द जॉब. अगर आप कितना भी अच्छा हो, लेकिन उसको अपना एटीट्यूड होना जरूरी है. हियर वी सी दैट द डायरेक्टर ऑफ द फिल्म इज emphasizing that in a workplace one need not to be flexible. हाँ में हाँ मिलाना kind of attitude is not needed in the workplace. Although the director is right to say that the director is right to say this thing, but what I feel is that one has to be flexible in his job and working place, but do mind flexibility which is good for us and others only has to be applied as a change. Is flexibility or change in us is not useful. In other words, adaptability is a sign of coordination and sustaining a healthy atmosphere in the workplace. Next slide, please. As far as adaptation in family is concerned, we need to prioritize more about the family members than the luxurious things. I mean to say, पैसा तो बहुत रहता है, पैसे से हम परिवार वालों की सुख सुविधा भी कर सकते हैं, लेकिन पैसे से प्यार नहीं दे सकते. देखभाल के लिए पैसा और ऐशो आराम की जरूरत नहीं है. क्या फिर किस चीज की जरूरत है? हमें एक दूसरे के साथ संवाद करना, एक दूसरे के लिए वक्त निकालना, एक दूसरे के बदलाव को स्वीकारना, यह जरूरी है. माता पिता ने बच्चों के जीवन में आने वाले बदलाव को सकारात्मक रूप से स्वीकारना चाहिए. उसी तरह से बच्चे ने भी माता पिता के जीवन में आने वाले बदलाव को स्वीकारना चाहिए. तभी बदलाव यानी अनुकूल वातावरण बना रहेगा और हमारे जीवन का उद्धार भी होगा. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड सर. Positive adaptation in professional life or in your workplace. Adaptability skills. These are the qualities one possesses that allow one to adjust to the change adjust the changes occurring them. You are adaptable at work if you can respond to the changing ideas, expectations, responsibilities, strategies, trends, etc. Adaptability skill can include various qualities or skill sets that help you to adapt and respond to change proactively and positively. Industrialization, digitalization, and automation are constantly changing the business dynamics nowadays. Whether you are barely beginning to embrace adaptability or looking to sharpen your skill in the areas of your workplaces, consider the following ways to increase your adaptability skills in the workplaces. आपके workplaces में आपके अनुकूल क्षमता को स्थिर रखने के लिए हमें कुछ चीजों का पालन करना बहुत जरूरी है. वे इस प्रकार: गेट आउट ऑफ यूर कंफर्ट जोन. आप अपने कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर आइए, आप मेल मिलाप कीजिए, लोगों एक दूसरे के लिए जानिए. मेक द एटमॉस्फेयर हेल्दी. देयर शुड बी कंपटीशन बट द कंपटीशन शुड बी हेल्दी. यानी सामने वाला अगर प्रमोशन हो रहा है तो आप उस चीज को अपने स्वीकारना है, लेकिन you should also compete but it should be healthy. उनको ठोकर न लगते हुए या फिर उनके ऊपर ओवर पावर होते हुए अगर हम ऐसा करते हैं तो this should not be done. So that is why you should get out of the comfort zone. You should understand each and every person You should coordinate with all the team members in your company, and you should keep a healthy competition. Be a better listener. कभी भी let your ears for मैं मेरा ही decisions ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. You should also give an ear. That means you should also accept the suggestions and the what you can say suggestions or any opinions that are coming from your co-team, and you should also make the follow-up of them if time needed. Ask questions. जब तक हम प्रश्न नहीं पूछेंगे, जब तक हम बातें नहीं करेंगे, तब तक हम अपने आप को कैसे ओपन अप कर सकते हैं. सो दैट इज व्हाई ऑलवेज यू नीड टू आस्क. कभी भी स्टूडेंट्स में एक है कि इन ऑल द लेक्चर्स दे सेल्डम आस्क. सिर्फ एक या दो ऐसा स्टूडेंट रहते हैं कि वह एक प्रश्न पूछ सकता है. आई ऑलवेज टेल माई स्टूडेंट्स दैट यू नीड टू आस्क whatever comes in your mind. First you need to ask. Start the practice of asking. Then only your mind can be stimulated. If your mind stimulates, then your concepts will be cleared. So make a practice of asking the things. Like a small child, whatever he don't know the things, but still he tries to ask the mother, Mama ye kya hai, Mama wo kya hai. So in the same way, you have grown big, so that is why you feel that if I ask something, whether anyone laughs at me, whether I would be a part of humor, don't think like that. You start the practice of asking irrespective to what the people say. Don't look at the people. Try to make a culture of asking. Be willing to make mistakes. Mistakes होते हैं, डरना नहीं, लेकिन हम कोशिश करते रहना. एक्चुअली हम जानबूझ के तो मिस्टेक्स नहीं करते हैं. मिस्टेक्स इज जस्ट अ पार्ट ऑफ नेचर. बट मिस्टेक्स होते हैं, लेकिन इस डर से हम काम नहीं करना. दिस शुड नॉट बी डन. यू हैव टू डू. मिस्टेक्स इट विल कम एंड मिस्टेक्स इट विल गो. When mistakes will come, then only you can be able to learn the things and improve the things. Find the positive. कभी भी किसी भी चीज में से adapt the things which are positive. Even if you are surrounded with some person who are negative, but there may be some qualities in them. So try to take only that quality which is positive in that person, and be connected with that person. So वो आदमी अच्छा नहीं है or something like that, and you just try to avoid. It should not be done. Because in office or in any workplace or in your team, you need to communicate. So you should have a healthy communication, and it is only possible when you try to adapt the positive things from your feed, from the opposite person. Find balance in your life. This is one of the very success mantra of your life, that you should be content, you should be satisfied, you should make your life very balanced. Corona pandemic has really made you think over, back to our nature. Looking at cinema hall, going back for going for parties and all these type of culture, it has already been stopped during the lockdown period. So at that time, we have just think over that again we went back to nature. So what the nature, the corona has also taught, it taught us that we need to keep ourselves balanced. So though corona has swiped off lots of life, but it has also made us to think what things are positive, or what good things that we have left behind, that we need to recycle it again. Next slide, sir, please. Yeah. Positive adaptations. As we have seen that positive adaptations is we should adapt ourselves in professional life or in our workplace. In the same way, we should adapt, or we should adapt ourselves in community places also. Today, why are we in need of adaptability skill is really needed to be understood. As we know that nowadays people don't have patience and tolerance. They want to stick to the same practices and live in the so go to a new place. They find it hard to adjust with the situations. For for job and how he need to adapt in such situations. If he has the quality of patience and tolerance and brotherlyhood also, then he could be able to adapt himself in the new atmosphere. So for your overall personality, the concept of adaptability is also very, very important that we need to understand. For example, I would like to give one more example about the military services, which we also call as a community services because they are doing the service of community itself. So there is a military soldier who is trained to stay. The military soldiers, they are made to train to stay in the climatic conditions in such temperatures where there is 0 degrees, because in borders they go and they safeguard the countries, so they need to adapt themselves to stay even at 0 degrees temperature. So how it is possible? It is possible only when they have been trained with the adaptability skills to adapt with the atmospheric conditions. So they are given a special training for being sustaining to stay in a lonely places, in the very cool places for months, like in Kashmir areas. They are trained with the adaptability skill. So here, which skill is very important for them? Of course, the adaptability skills. So हमने इनसे सीख लेनी चाहिए, ये मिलिट्री जवान से हमने सीख लेनी चाहिए कि कैसे इतने विपरीत परिस्थिति में भी वे अपने अनुकूलन क्षमता को स्थिर बनाए रखते हैं. आजकल की पीढ़ी में एक मिलिट्री सेनानी जैसे सहनशीलता कम दिखाई देती है. युवा पीढ़ी को अगर कोई विषय पसंद नहीं आया तो वो तुरंत उसे बदल देने में एक पल भी नहीं लगाता है. Like you say, if he doesn't like the subject, he just change the field within a second. So they don't think over it कि क्या है. जस्ट जैसे हाथ में रिमोट, अगर चैनल पसंद नहीं आया तो तुरंत हमने चेंज कर दिए. आजकल के युवा पीढ़ी में भी सहनशीलता इतनी कम हो गई है कि they don't bear the things, they don't tolerate the things, and they just change like anything. Whether it is the change of their profession, whether it is their change of the partners, I'm open to say, and whether it is a change in the, what you can say, in their behaviors also. So that is why the youngsters, they need to first think over it. First उनमें चिंतन करना है, उन्होंने सोचना है. Suppose if you are in aggression, or if you are in such a state of mind that you want to renounce that thing, stop for a while, think over it, think for a few minutes कि what reaction you are going to do, so that it could affect the front person. You think over it, then you try to respond. So if unless you don't think better for the other, then your responses will come in a very aggressive way. So dear student, do mind whatever reaction you do, don't do it hastily. Just think very balancedly. Then you see your life will definitely grow, and you will grow as a gentleman in your life. So next slide. पॉजिटिव एडेप्टेशन. हमने अभी एडेप्टेशन किन किन चीजों में देखा. एडेप्टेशन इन अवर वर्क एंड प्रोफेशनल लाइफ, adaptation in our community sectors. Now we will see adaptations, how you adapt yourself to conserve the nature, because हम चार दीवार के अंदर एक व्यक्ति ही नहीं है जो हम सिर्फ हमारे परिवार के बारे में ही सोचते हैं नेचर। तो इसीलिए अडेप्टेबिलिटी स्किल्स में यह भी जरूरी होता है कि आपने प्रकृति के लिए क्या योगदान दिया है। सो man has proved with his discoveries and inventions that he can adapt himself in any situation. He can survive in water, he can survive in desert, and also on the moon. It has been discovered. Ecosystem based adaptation, the abbreviation is EBA. It is a nature based solution that harnesses biodiversity and ecosystem services to reduce the vulnerability and build resilience to climatic change. Agroforestry, integrated water resource management, livelihood diversification, and sustainable forest management interventions that use nature to reduce the vulnerability to climatic change. So, these are the elements which we need to think, and it is only possible when adaptation is possible. So, the best example of adaptation I can quote from one of the great personality. His name is Jadev Payang. उसने यह सिद्ध किया कि प्रतिकूल परिस्थिति में भी अनुकूलता हो सकती है. In the adverse condition also the what you can say adaptability is possible. How? Jadev Payang, he is a person, the great ecological agroforest cultivator. He earned his name as उसे the forest man of India भी कहा जाता है. He spent 30 years of his life planting around 40 million trees to create a real man-made forest by changing a barren sandbar of the ब्रह्मपुत्र रिवर के पास उन्होंने बहुत बड़ा एक रेगिस्तान जैसा बंजर जमीन थी, और उतने बड़े एरिया में जो 40 मिलियन ट्रीज उन्होंने वहां पे लगाए. और यह लगाने के लिए उन्होंने अपने जीवन का कितने साल का योगदान दिया? 30 साल का योगदान दिया. So he is one of the best example I can say who deserves to be the person who has adapted, who has created an ideology of adaptability and adaptability skills. He is an ideal example before us that in future the situation will worsen and to survive, and therefore we need to change by avoiding cutting trees. In spite of cutting trees for luxurious, we need to encourage plantation. So to conserve the nature, we should go back to our ancestors. The way of adaptability is then only possible. Use paper-made carry bags, walk by foot, use eco-friendly things, avoid plastic leather uses, etc. Next slide, please. Media adaptation. It is a change in the need. Media adaptation, change in the need. ये हमारे लिए आज के conditions के लिए it is very perfect, because now without media we are unable to survive, and we are facing this situation. Change is constant and nothing new, but we live in a fast-paced digitalized world. Be it software, a car, or a smartphone, there are always an upgraded versions or a new product out there, even though some can be majorly disappointing. It is no doubt that we have adapted ourselves with the digital world. And mobile is the gadget guru in every person's pocket. Multiple apps in mobiles are used for different purposes as per the need and convenience of the user. डेली आप देखते हैं हमारे मोबाइल में अनेक मैसेजेस और बहुत सारे अपडेट्स आते रहते हैं. एक बार हमने डाटा स्टार्ट किया तो पूरे अपडेट, पूरे एप्स हमारे सामने में नजर आते रहते हैं. विथ मीडिया देन वी शुड मेक सम गुड रेजोल्यूशंस. हमने अभी तय कर ही लिया है कि हम मीडिया के बगैर नहीं जी सकते हैं, तो हमने एक अच्छे प्रैक्टिसेस भी करने चाहिए. वी शुड मेक सम गुड रेजोल्यूशंस अबाउट यूजिंग द मीडिया इन अ पॉजिटिव वे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, to improve your personality, you need to develop a good communication skill in English speaking. So many English classes coachings are undertaken for this. We can also learn English languages through various apps like Facebook. Facebook is the most popular app used by the users across the country. This is one of the fastest media. We send and accept requests to the people of known and unknown as well. How Facebook helps in language learning is very needful question. When you create a group in Facebook, for example, say English learning group, you will find that you are connected with so much people who are learners. In this group, you will receive notifications and updates relating to the language learning, how to improve your language skills, and many more. Vocabulary.com is one of the example of such websites wherein you can learn about how to use your proper vocabulary to fine tune with your English language. So हमारे हाथ में gadget है, but how we need to adapt ourselves in a very positive way is needed, is a very important question. Another slide, sir, please. Next slide. Yeah. Adaptation हम कहते हैं, तो हमारे बोली भाषा में भी कुछ चीज ऐसी है जो हमने अडेप्ट किए हैं, बट वो चीज अडेप्टेशन के लिए ऐसी चीज जो हमने अडेप्ट किए हैं वो हितकारी है या नहीं, वो हम जानेंगे इस स्लाइड में, जहां हम देख रहे हैं कि जैसे मोबाइल वी हैव अडेप्टेड, बट वी शुड मेक अ गुड यूज ऑफ इट. बट व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, वी आर जस्ट डॉगलराइजिंग द कल्चर ऑफ टेक्सटिज्म. हम एक दूसरे के साथ संवाद कर रहे हैं, लेकिन वो बातों में जो स्लैंग जिसे हम कहते हैं उसमें बदलाव आ गया है. यानी भाषा का क्या हो रहा है, यहाँ पर पुर्जे पुर्जे हो रहे हैं. भाषा को जो एक भाषा की जो सुंदरता है उस चीज को हम क्या कर रहे हैं, उसको हम विलीन कर रहे हैं. कैसे कर रहे हैं? स्लैंग्स के जरिए. अभी यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं कि वी सी दैट द यंगर जनरेशन they use a kind of slang language for texting with each other, which is very much in trending. ये अभी ऐसे types of texting बहुत trending में है. जैसे आप देख सकते हैं कि उस व्यक्ति को accurate लिखना है, तो the spelling of accurate is ACCURATE, but how he writes AQRH. So सामने वाला अगर कोई अजनबी है, वो जिसको स्लैंग लैंग्वेज नहीं आती है, वो कैसे पढ़ेगा? AQRH. लेकिन जिसको स्लैंग लैंग्वेज पता है वो कैसे बोलेगा? एक्यूरेट. सो व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, वी आर डूइंग नथिंग बट degenerating the essence of the good English language. So it is a request that to all the English language that there is no hurry. You converse yourself. Don't try to make yourself very smart by using the slang languages. Use a good and proper language so that अगर सामने वाला को वो नहीं आता है तो वो स्पेलिंग को सीख सकता है या फिर उसे समझ सकता है. तो ब्यूटीफुल की स्पेलिंग वह लिखते हैं UTIFUL. दिस इज अ स्लैंग शॉर्ट फॉर्म. बिजी को लिखते हैं BZ. दैट को लिखते हैं TH@. चॉकलेट CHOL8. So it is very funny and it is like a humor for the English language, and it should not happen. To create a good language skills. You should not use the slang languages. Avoid these kind of slang languages. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. Possibilities of personality development through adaptation skills. क्या personality development adaptation से संभव है? Possibility of personality development questions asked in civil examinations about adaptation. Adaptation हम पढ़े हैं. क्या यह adaptation सही में अपने practical life में इसका यूज है? हाँ, मैं कहती हूँ है. क्यों? क्योंकि सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जामिनेशंस में ऐसे आड़े टेढ़े प्रश्न पूछते हैं जिसमें कुछ प्रश्न ऐसे भी होते हैं that is related to your adaptability skills. So the interview board is very smart. They judge not only your intelligence, but they judge your personality by asking, by triggering various questions. And one of the question among it may be asked related to the adaptability skills. So, for example, if a core committee will ask a question like, you see, what would you like to become when you grow big? यह तो बच्चे को भी माँ बाप पूछते हैं या फिर आजू बाजू के लोग भी पूछते हैं. बच्चा बड़े होके क्या होगे? तो वो बोलेगा मैं इंजीनियर बनूंगा, मैं डॉक्टर बनूंगा. ये 99.9% लोग इस तरीके के प्रश्न को पूछते हैं. लेकिन अगर हमने प्रश्न पूछने की जो स्टाइल है यानी जो शैली है उसको हम बदल देते हैं तो सामने वाला व्यक्ति डायरेक्ट आंसर न देते हुए पहले वो सोचेगा और फिर वो बोलेगा कि मैं एक्चुअल में क्या बनना चाहता है. सो डोंट ट्राई टू मेक अ प्रैक्टिस ऑफ आस्किंग एनी ऑफ द किड कि बेटा व्हाट वुड यू बिकम व्हेन यू ग्रो बिग. आस्क अ हेल्दी क्वेश्चन लाइक हाउ डू यू गिव योर कंट्रीब्यूशन टू द नेचर एज अ मैन व्हेन यू ग्रो बिग. अगर हम ऐसा पूछते हैं तो सामने वाले जो व्यक्ति सोचता है कि मैं बड़ा होकर क्या बनूंगा, वह उसके साथ साथ नेचर के बारे में भी सोचेगा. यानी बड़ा होना, इंजीनियर बनना ये काफी नहीं है. बड़ा होकर इंजीनियर होकर मैं प्रकृति के लिए क्या करूंगा. यानी बचपन से ही अगर हमने वो बीज डाल दिया कि प्रकृति के लिए आप बड़े होकर क्या करोगे, तो he start to inculcate the habit of making the environmental friendly awareness. So such type of questions are needed to be appreciated, and these questions, mind you students, is always asked in civil services examinations also. So personality development is not just grooming yourself externally but also grooming your mind, and adaptability skill is also one of the major element of grooming your mind. So next slide. So here I end my presentation with a lot of positive doses to enhance your personality through adaptation skills. I hope I tried to justify in true sense the topic that has been assigned to me. Thank you very much, dear participants, and thank you for your patience listening. Over to Pragyasa madam.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a wonderful experience again listening to you.
Sharing, 1 second, sir. Sharing.
Yes, ma'am.
No, yeah.
It was a wonderful experience to listen to you, ma'am. And you wonderfully presented your presentation, great illustrations and wonderful examples. You did not forget in such a I would say academics, you do not forget nature. You did not forget nature also. You did not forget family also. It was a wonderful experience. What is adaptability? How to adapt? Adaptability skills. Then family, adapting at workplace, adapting the media, and also language adaptation. Loss of beauty of language through slangs. All of these were, it was a wonderful experience really listening to you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Here we come to the end, and also, I would take the privilege to present a vote of thanks also. At this offset, first of all, first and foremost, I would like to thank the principals of the organizing colleges for providing such a wonderful opportunity for our students to add to their personalities and get prepared for their future challenges in life and career. I am indebted to Dr. Meenakshi Vasnik ma'am for expressing her views on adaptability skills. It's my privilege to thank the organizers, Dr. Deepti Thakre ma'am, Dr. Kapil sir, Kapil Singhal sir, Dr. Deepti Thakre ma'am, Dr. Meenakshi Vasnik ma'am, and Dr. Madhvi Moral ma'am. Sorry for being getting interruption. College, the teachers of English who came together from colleges, organizing colleges, and designed such a useful course for the students. I'm really thankful to the organizers. My gratitude is due to Sachin sir here for handling the technical side today. And at last, but not the least, all the students who participated in today's session through Google Meet or the YouTube platform. I thank everyone, each and everyone, once again. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.